in a realm where clouds cling to the mountains and stars shine so bright that even the shadowed valleys glow with silver light, there are citadels of wind and stone where winged folk carve their homes from the sheer face of the sky. In this world, the footfalls of ground folk echo far below, while above, in the thin air, lofty arches hold nests and gardens aloft. There is adventure in the cool heights, and magic enough to enchant wanderers and dreamers, with 1,000 tales of wind-swept mysteries. There are wonders enough to fill the span of a dragon's lifetime, and most who dwell here are content with the challenges of day-to-day life. A few, however, remember the stories whispered to them as fledgling stories that thrilled and frightened them, in equal measure tales of storms that speak and winds that lure the unwary into the void. Before I move forward, we are counting on you to support our channel by clicking that tiny subscribe button so that we can bring more of these amazing legends and lore to life. Thank you. These hardy souls seek the hidden places of the high realm, flying beyond the safe paths of their kin and into cloud-shrouded canyons. Those who return tell of a land more wondrous, still a realm woven of pure air and light, where dreams and nightmares take wing. This is the world of the sky cities, where the Aarakocra live, and where the horizon is both home and boundary. The sky in this realm is not a flat roof overhead, but a deep and layered ocean of air. It begins at the level where most ground dwellers breathe and stretches upward through many zones, until it thins into the chill heights where only spirits and storm birds roam. In these layers, clouds form seas of vapor that roll and swell like waves upon the shore. These cloud seas are luminous from within, glowing with the trapped light of day or shimmering with the reflections of the moon. Between cloud banks, broad swathes of clear air reveal endless vistas. To an Aarakocra, the sky is terrain, as rich as any forest or plain. They see the invisible currents and eddies that fill the sky and navigate them as surely as a sailor reads the waves and wind. Narrow belts of warm, rising air buoy tired wings, and cold downdrafts carry hunters swiftly toward their prey. In the sky there are winds that sing and others that scream. There are storms that flash and roar, and there are silent tempests that build a charge so potent that hair and feathers stand on end before the bolt strikes. Each layer has its own hazards and gifts. In the lower sky, the air is thick and full of life. Wild geese and migrating dragons glide along established routes. Cloud flowers bloom on the edges of thin mist and release pollen that glows as it drifts. In the middle sky, winds grow stronger and sunlight is harsher. Here, luminous ribbons of aurora dance even in daylight, and the air tastes of ozone. In the highest sky, ice crystals hang suspended and glitter like dust. The cold is intense enough to freeze breath instantly, and only creatures of magic and stone can endure it for long. Some say the highest sky touches other realms, and that glimpses of the elemental plane of air or the astral sea can be seen through fissures between clouds. Wise travelers mark the boundaries of each layer with care, for one misjudged ascent can lead to thin air and a drop that continues beyond sight. The sky is not empty. It is filled with floating stones of all sizes, islands of rock that drift like slow ships across the heavens. Some are as small as a wagon, some are as large as kingdoms. Many have been caught by the great spires of the mountains, or tethered to them by roots and vines forming bridges of stone and earth between peaks. Others float free, moving along their own paths, guided by forces unknown. Some islands spin slowly as they travel, causing their surfaces to alternate between sun and shadow. On these spinning islands, rare plants grow in a perpetual twilight that is neither day nor night. The largest islands are home to forests and lakes. Water from melted snow and rain collects in hollows and flows over the edge in waterfalls that become mist before reaching the ground below. The Aarakocra call these floating lands skylands, and for them they are as natural as river and mountain. Legends say that in ages past, when the world was young, giants of cloud and storm raised the skylands as monuments to their strength. Others speak of a time when the ground itself rebelled against a tyrannical dragon, and pieces of the earth were torn free and cast upward. Whatever the truth, the skylands have been a part of the world for as long as anyone remembers. The Aarakocra carve homes into their sides and build platforms atop them. They plant terraces of hardy grains and vine fruits and raise flocks of wind-goats animals that leap from stone to stone and glide on thin membranes. The skylands drift in gentle loops that take days or weeks to complete, and some pass over the same landmarks every year. Trade routes are planned around these cycles, and festivals coincide with the return of certain islands. The motion of the skylands also means danger. When two islands collide, the impact can shake entire cities. When a skyland shifts its path unexpectedly, communities may be forced to abandon long-tended fields or relocate entire districts. Most Aarakocra learn to read the subtle changes in wind and light that precede a shift, but even they can be surprised. Beyond the skylands, the mountains rise. These mountains are titanic spires of stone that pierce the clouds and reach for the stars. Their sides are sheer, and their peaks are sharp. Snow and ice cling to them, and glaciers carve deep grooves into their flanks. Between peaks lie valleys, where the wind howls and funnels down to the lower slopes. In some places, the mountains form arches and bridges, where rock has been eroded from beneath, and only a narrow band of stone remains. These natural bridges are narrow and treacherous, but for Aarakocra, they offer shelter from storms and a place to rest. There are also mountains that are hollow within. Caverns open onto the sky, and giant shafts drop down through the heart of the stone. Waterfalls cascade down these shafts, filling the caverns with mist and rainbows. The Aarakocra know these hollow peaks as sanctuaries and hideaways. They provide shelter from predators and storms, and inside them, rare fungi grow on the damp walls. Some say these caverns were hollowed out by the breaths of dragons or carved by the fingers of gods. Others believe that the mountains themselves are alive and that they have created hollows to house the creatures of the sky. Whatever their origin, the hollow mountains are among the most cherished places in the Aarakocra world. The sky cities are wonders of stone, wood, and bone. They are built upon skylands or carved into mountain sides, and they cling to the wind in ways that seem impossible to those who live on the ground. From a distance, a sky city resembles a cluster of nests and spires woven together by bridges of rope and stone. Closer inspection reveals intricate carvings and complex structures that have evolved over generations. The Aarakocra build with lightness in mind. Their homes are airy and open to the breeze. They use long curved beams of driftwood harvested from trees that grow on the skylands or found floating in cloud seas. They weave reeds and grasses into walls that flex with the wind but do not break. Stone is used sparingly and only where necessary for foundation or protection. It is shaped with magic or patient labor into thin sheets that line nests or form circular platforms. Many sky cities have central courtyards open to the sky where families gather to share meals and stories. These courtyards are often filled with hanging gardens where herbs and flowers grow suspended in woven baskets. The scent of these gardens perfumes the air and attracts butterflies and hummingbirds. Bridges connect every part of a sky city. These bridges can be as simple as braided ropes with wooden slats, or as grand as stone arches carved with images of wind spirits. Some bridges are fixed, while others can be drawn up in times of danger. The ability to control access is vital in a world where threats can come from above as well as below. In addition to bridges, there are nets and ladders that allow Aarakocra to ascend or descend quickly. Nets hang between levels and act as safety catches. Ladders are carved directly into rock faces or made of woven rope. Many Aarakocra prefer to fly between parts of their city, but they also respect those who cannot. Visitors from the ground or other races are welcome in many places, and accommodations are made for those without wings. Platforms with carefully placed ledges allow climbers to rest and catch their breath, and small lifts operated by pulleys can haul goods and people up and down. Aarakocra homes reflect their connection to the sky. Each home has an open front facing the wind so that residents can step out and take flight at a moment's notice. The interiors are circular or oval to minimize corners where stagnant air might accumulate. Hearths are small and efficient, designed to provide warmth without filling the home with smoke. Chimneys extend upward, and the smoke is carried away by the wind. Walls are decorated with feathers, bones, and shells. These decorations are more than ornaments. They are records of ancestry and achievement. Each feather may represent a challenge, overcome a friend lost, or a storm weathered. The bones of ancestral creatures are revered and are often set in places of honor. The shells are gifts from sea dwellers and remind the Aarakocra that there are other worlds beyond the sky. Community spaces are important. In many sky cities, there are wide terraces where gatherings are held. These terraces are usually on the windward side of the city and have low walls to provide some shelter. At night, fires are lit, and the warm glow can be seen from far away. Songs echo through the air and dance steps are traced on the stone. Storytellers share tales of old, and children reenact the deeds of heroes. Community also extends to the care of eggs and fledglings. The Aarakocra lay eggs and raise their young communally. There are nurseries within the heart of each city, where eggs are kept warm and safe. Fledglings are taught by all adults and are considered the responsibility of the entire community. This shared raising of children strengthens bonds and ensures that knowledge and tradition are passed on. Sky cities are not static. They grow and change with the winds and with the needs of their people. New platforms are added to accommodate growing families. Old sections are reinforced when wear becomes evident. Sometimes, entire sections are moved. Because the materials are light and flexible, sections can be cut free and flown to new locations or rearranged to balance the city's weight. In this way, sky cities adapt to the shifting positions of the skylands or to changes in the paths of wind currents. Aarakocra view their homes as living things. They speak to the wood and stone and listen to the creak of ropes and the whisper of reed walls. When a part of a city is dismantled, it is done with ceremony. Each beam and plank is thanked for its service. When a new section is built, the materials are blessed. This reverence for their surroundings extends to all aspects of Aarakocra life and ensures that the sky cities remain in harmony with the world around them. Life in the sky cities is dominated by the rhythms of wind and light. The day begins when the first rays of dawn paint the clouds pink and gold. Aarakocra greet the sun with wings outstretched. They perform morning flights to stretch their muscles and to check the surrounding skies for weather changes. Scouts fly outward to monitor the paths of skylands and to watch for predators or strangers. Hunters take to the air in search of food. Their prey includes birds, fish that swim in the cloud seas, and small mammals that live on floating islands. Farming is conducted on terraces carved into the skylands. Aarakocra cultivate grasses that produce nutritious seeds, root vegetables that can withstand thin soil, and vine fruits that dangle in clusters. Irrigation is managed through careful use of rain catchments and dew collection. Gardeners tend to the plants with patience and skill. They know the patterns of the wind and how to position plants to receive just enough moisture. They also cultivate cloud moss, a pale, fluffy plant that grows on the underside of rocks and collects water from the air. This moss is harvested and squeezed to provide clean water. Fishing in the cloud seas is a unique endeavor. There are creatures that swim through the thick mist as if it were water. Some have fins and scales that shimmer like dew. Others resemble fish but are composed of vapor and light. Aarakocra fishermen use nets woven from spider silk and anchored with stones. They cast them into dense cloud banks and wait for the subtle tug that indicates a catch. They also catch flying insects and birds. One common prey is the sky eel, a slender creature with a long tail and wings like a bat. The sky eel coils around its prey and uses its sharp teeth to feed. It is considered a delicacy when roasted with herbs. Another is the cloud carp, a large fish that can weigh as much as a fledgling Aarakocra. Cloud carp have scales that reflect light in iridescent patterns, and their flesh is tender. Hunting larger prey requires coordination. Bands of hunters work together to drive a flock of cloud geese toward nets or to harry a wyvern away from the city and into a trap. Skill with spear and bow is essential, and hunters train from youth to hit a moving target while flying through gusting winds. Trade is vital. Sky cities cannot produce all they need. They trade with ground dwellers for metals, stone, and foods that cannot be grown in the thin soil of the skylands. They also trade among themselves. Each city has access to different resources depending on its location and the skylands it anchors to. Some have forests of tall windwood trees that yield strong, flexible timber. Others have mines that produce crystals used in magic or ornamentation. Others harvest rare herbs that grow only on the highest peaks. Trade is conducted through caravans of flying creatures carrying goods in baskets strapped to their bodies or in large gliders that ride the wind currents. These caravans travel along established routes known as wind roads. Wind roads are predictable paths where the air flows steadily in one direction. They can be narrow as a stream or wide as a river. They change with the seasons and sometimes disappear altogether. Traders know how to read the signs that indicate a wind road's presence. They watch the way cloud wisps align and how birds travel. They also consult old maps that show the historical patterns of wind currents. When a wind road shifts, new routes must be discovered quickly, or trade may falter. There are also rituals and celebrations that mark the passing of seasons and significant events. The most important celebration is the Festival of Returning. This festival occurs when a major skyland returns after completing its circuit. Families reunite with relatives from other cities. There are feasts where dried fruit and smoked fish are shared. Songs praising the winds are sung, and dances that mimic the flight of eagles and swallows are performed. During the festival, elders recount the history of the city and remind the young of the sacrifices of their ancestors. Another important ceremony is the rite of fledging. When a young Aarakocra is ready to take their first solo flight, they are taken to a high platform. Their parents and mentors stand nearby to encourage them. The youth spreads their wings and leaps into the air. If they fly well, they are showered with flower petals. If they stumble, there is no shame. They are gently caught in nets and given time to strengthen themselves. The rite of fledging is a community event, and every member of the city participates either by cheering or by helping prepare the platform. Not all rituals are joyous. There are times when storms claim lives or when predators attack. When an Aarakocra dies, the community mourns. The body is taken to a high cliff and released to the sky. It is believed that the soul becomes one with the wind and that the feathers of the deceased will guide future travelers. Feathers of the dead are often braided into the hair of loved ones or placed in special niches in their homes. There are also ceremonies to appease the spirits of the sky. When a particularly fierce storm approaches, offerings of food and song are given. Priests climb to the highest point and chant prayers. They ask the spirits to grant mercy and to protect the nests. If the storm passes without damage, the city celebrates. If harm comes, the city rebuilds together with renewed determination. Despite its beauty, the sky is perilous. Storms are the most obvious danger. There are many types of storms, and each has its own character. There are tempests that brew over the mountains and unleash torrents of rain and hail. Their winds are strong enough to tear sails and uproot trees. These storms announce themselves with thunder that echoes between peaks and flashes of lightning that illuminate the clouds from within. There are also dry storms that carry dust and grit. They scour the skylands and can strip paint from wood. The most feared storms are those that come from other realms. These storms glow with an eerie light and carry with them the scent of magic. They may bring rain that burns or lightning that freezes. They can tear holes in the sky and open portals to places unknown. Some storms are sentient and play with travelers. They will mimic the songs of Aarakocra to lure them into dangerous currents or create mirages of familiar landmarks to lead them astray. The Aarakocra have learned to read the sky and to recognize the signs of approaching storms. They watch the way clouds build and how birds behave. When a storm approaches, bells are rung and nets are secured. Everyone helps to strengthen ropes and to close shutters. Those who are outside are called back. There are storm caves carved into the sides of mountains and skylands where inhabitants can retreat. Once a storm has passed, there is a ritual of thanks to the spirits for their survival. Predators are another threat. Many creatures hunt in the sky. Some are elegant and beautiful, while others are monstrous. Rock birds with wingspans that can shade a skyland soar above, hunting for anything that moves. They can pick up horses or yaks and carry them away. Aarakocra must be wary when these giants pass overhead. They may throw shining metal discs to distract them, or use mirrors to reflect sunlight into their eyes. Wyverns patrol the edges of cloud seas. Their barbed tails drip poison and their leathery wings beat silently. They are drawn to the scent of blood and the shimmer of armor. Harpies dwell in rocky crags and lure travelers with their songs. Their voices can sound like loved ones calling from afar. To resist their call, Aarakocra plug their ears with wax or cloth. Griffins and hippogriffs range over the mountains and will attack if threatened, but they can also be allies if respected. There are serpents that float through the air like ribbons carried by the wind. These serpents can grow to great length and wrap around a skyland to crush it. They are attracted to the heat of fires and the smell of cooking. When one is spotted, nets are spread and bells are rung to warn others. Hunters will gather to drive the serpent away with flaming arrows and spears. In addition to natural predators, there are entities of pure air that roam the sky. Elementals of wind take many forms. Some are gentle breezes that playfully ruffle feathers and tug at scarves. Others are raging vortices that devour all in their path. Sky cities have stories of whirlwinds that speak and demand tribute. There are also spirits known as the Whispering. They appear as faint trails of light and are said to be the souls of those who died in the sky. They whisper warnings or lures to travelers. Sometimes they guide lost hunters home. Other times they lead the unwary into the teeth of a storm or the waiting jaws of a predator. It is believed that the Whispering can be appeased with offerings of bread and song. Aarakocra often carry small pieces of bread in their pouches to cast into the air when they feel the presence of a spirit. Other sky spirits include the Laughing Winds, which are mischievous currents that delight in upending baskets and tangling ropes. Children enjoy chasing these winds and trying to capture them in woven traps. If caught, the Laughing Wind calms and rewards the captor with a burst of warmth or a burst of scent. However, if angered, it can turn into a cutting gale that can cause injury. Respect for these spirits is essential. There are also dangers that arise from within the Aarakocra themselves. Ambition and greed exist in all beings. Some sky clans have tried to seize control of multiple skylands and to impose their rule over others. They hoard resources and restrict access to wind roads. These power struggles can lead to conflict. Battles between sky cities are rare, but when they occur, they are fierce. Warriors fight in 3 dimensions, diving and climbing through the air. Nets and bolas are used to entangle opponents. Spears are tipped with obsidian or bone. Lightning is sometimes harnessed through magic and cast as a weapon. Such battles can cause great damage to the Skylands and result in loss of life. To prevent warfare, councils of elders from different cities meet regularly. They discuss grievances and negotiate. These councils are held in neutral territory, usually a large skyland that is not claimed by any one city. Songs of peace are sung, and treaties are marked by the exchange of feathers. The Aarakocra believe that every feather in a treaty represents a life promised to peace. Breaking such a promise is a serious offense, and those who do so are often exiled. The sky is home to a vast array of creatures beyond the Aarakocra and their predators. Some are benign and others are bizarre. There are cloud whales, enormous creatures that drift through thick fog banks. They have bodies like whales, but composed of condensed vapor. Their bodies glow with soft light. They feed on pollen and seeds suspended in the air. Aarakocra sometimes ride on their backs and sing songs to them. The whales respond with low humming that resonates through bone and air. Some say that if you whisper a question into the ear of a cloud whale, it will answer in your dreams. There are also sky turtles with shells covered in moss and tiny flowers. They float slowly and are sometimes mistaken for islands. Plants take root on them, and small animals live in their shell gardens. To the untrained eye, a sky turtle is indistinguishable from a small skyland until it moves. Sun moths are large insects with wingspans wider than an Aarakocra is tall. Their wings are translucent and covered in scales that reflect light in dazzling patterns. They are attracted to warmth and light. During migration, they can darken the sky as they pass. They are gentle, but their sheer numbers can be dangerous if they collide with structures. Aarakocra use drums to scare them away or lure them into safe passages. Thunderbees are another insect species. They make their hives on the undersides of skylands. Their honey is sought after for its flavor and medicinal properties. However, thunder bees are fiercely protective. Their stingers deliver electric shocks strong enough to knock an adult Aarakocra unconscious. Harvesters wear special suits lined with cloth and plant fibers that insulate against shocks. They approach the hive slowly singing calming songs. If done correctly, the bees will allow them to take honeycomb. If done poorly, the entire hive may swarm. The risk is high, but the reward is worth it. The honey can heal wounds and is used in rituals. Air jellyfish drift on the breeze, trailing tentacles that glow softly. They feed on microscopic organisms in the air. Their tentacles can sting and cause dizziness. They are beautiful to watch at dusk when the fading sunlight catches their colors. Some Aarakocra keep small air jellyfish in nets as pets. They are careful to trim the tentacles and to feed them regularly. There are also lightning beetles that store electricity in their bodies. When threatened, they discharge this energy in bright flashes. They are attracted to metal and will cluster around metal tools or weapons. Care must be taken to store metal objects in insulated boxes. On dark nights, lightning beetles can be coaxed into lanterns, providing light without flame. There are more sinister creatures as well. Peritons are malevolent beings that resemble deer with bird wings and monstrous shadows. They crave the hearts of humanoids. Aarakocra view them with fear and hatred. Stories tell that Peritons were once noble creatures who lost their hearts in a cursed storm and have been searching for replacements ever since. Another threat comes from the storm drakes. These are dragon-like creatures that feed on the electricity in the air. They can generate lightning from their breath and direct it at prey. They are drawn to the sound of bells and thunder. Storm drakes often attack during storms, using the chaos to conceal their presence. Their scales are prized for their beauty and for their ability to store magical energy. Hunting a storm drake is dangerous, but many Aarakocra warriors dream of slaying one and wearing its scales as armor. Sky krakens lurk in the densest of cloud seas. They are enormous beasts with long tentacles that extend for hundreds of feet. They sense vibrations in the air and use their tentacles to snare unwary creatures or to anchor themselves to skylands. They are rarely seen fully. The only sign of a sky kraken may be a thick tentacle rising from a cloud to wrap around a bird or a bridge. When a kraken is spotted, entire cities may mobilize to drive it away. Fire arrows and harpoons are used. Sometimes a kraken will retreat. Other times it will fight and tear apart structures. Tales speak of ancient heroes who rode on the backs of sky krakens to distant realms. Whether these tales are true is unknown, but the fear remains. Finally, there are the sky giants. These beings are rare and mysterious. They appear as humanoids, taller than trees, with skin like pale blue stone and hair like clouds. They walk on pathways of air that are invisible to others. Some carry great baskets filled with seeds, which they scatter to create floating gardens. Others wield hammers that can forge thunder. The sky giants seldom interact with Aarakocra. When they do, it is often in response to some great imbalance. They may come to mend a skyland that is breaking apart, or to quell a storm that has grown too strong. Aarakocra treat them with deep respect. They leave offerings of fruit and song on high peaks in hopes of pleasing them. The Aarakocra believe that the sky cities were a gift from the gods. Their creation myths speak of a time when the world was flat and lifeless. The ground was barren, and the sky was a dull gray. No creature lived, and no wind blew. Then the goddess of air danced across the world. Her feet lifted dust, and her wings stirred the stillness. She began to sing, and her song awakened the stars. They fell from the heavens and landed on the ground, shattering into pieces of glowing stone. Where the stones fell, the ground rose up and became mountains. The goddess continued her dance, and the mountains pushed higher and higher until they pierced the sky. The pieces of stone that flew off into the air became the skylands. The goddess then created the Aarakocra from feathers and breath. She taught them to fly and to build. She showed them how to carve homes from stone and how to weave reeds into walls. She taught them to read the wind and to respect the creatures of the sky. She also warned them that the sky is a gift and a test. Those who abuse it will be cast down. Those who care for it will thrive. Another legend tells of the first Aarakocra hero. His name was Windrunner. He was born with strong wings and a curious mind. He wanted to see beyond the horizon. He flew higher and farther than any of his kin. One day, he saw a strange light in the distance and followed it. He came upon a skyland that was unlike any other. It glowed with an inner light and was covered in crystals. In the center of the island was a great tree whose leaves were silver. Windrunner spoke to the tree and asked what it was. The tree told him that it was the heart of the sky. It pulsed with the life of all that flew. It told him that as long as its leaves shimmered, the sky would remain strong. It also warned him that if the tree were ever harmed, the sky would fall. Windrunner returned to his people and told them of the tree. They vowed to protect it and to keep its location secret. The tale of the silver tree is passed down, and some believe that the heart of the sky still exists somewhere in the clouds. Others think it is a metaphor. Regardless, the story serves as a reminder to cherish the sky and to guard its secrets. There are darker myths as well. Some speak of a time when the Aarakocra were forced from the ground by a great cataclysm. They tell of an age when dragons ruled the earth and enslaved all other creatures. These dragons were massive and cruel. They commanded the elements and hoarded wealth. The Aarakocra were among their slaves. They lived in caves and mines, digging for precious stones. One day, a young Aarakocra named Featherlight found a crystal that glowed with an inner light. When he touched it, he felt a surge of energy. He heard a voice telling him to rise and to free his people. Featherlight gathered others, and together they fought their way out of the mines. They climbed the mountains and took to the sky. The dragons pursued them, but the Aarakocra were faster. They reached the skylands and found refuge. The dragons could not follow. The Aarakocra built their cities there and vowed never to be enslaved again. To this day, tales of dragons rising from the earth to reclaim their slaves are told to frightened fledglings. They remind the Aarakocra that freedom must be guarded and that vigilance is essential. In the sky cities, society is organized around clans and councils. A clan is an extended family group that shares common ancestors and traditions. Each clan has a leader called an elder, who acts as a mediator and advisor. Elders are chosen for their wisdom and experience rather than their age alone. They meet regularly with elders of other clans to discuss issues that affect the entire city. These meetings are called wind councils. Decisions are made by consensus, and there is a strong emphasis on listening and understanding. If a consensus cannot be reached, the matter is tabled, and the elders seek guidance from the wind. This may involve meditation on high peaks or consultation with priests. The Aarakocra believe that the wind carries the voice of the gods, and that by listening closely, they can discern the right course of action. Within each clan, there are roles based on skill and inclination. Hunters track and bring back food. Builders maintain and expand the city's structures. Gardeners tend to crops and animals. Priests lead rituals and communicate with spirits. Storytellers preserve history and teach the young through song and tale. Warriors protect the city from threats. Each role is respected. No task is seen as more important than another because all contribute to the survival of the community. It is common for individuals to shift roles over their lifetimes. A hunter may become a builder when they tire of long flights. A priest may take up storytelling to share what they have learned. This flexibility ensures that knowledge flows freely and that no skill is lost. Art and music are integral. Aarakocra art is often transient, made of sand patterns drawn on stone or feathers arranged on an updraft. These creations last only as long as the wind allows. This impermanence is embraced. It mirrors the fleeting nature of clouds and the constant change of the sky. More permanent art includes carvings on stone and bone. These depict legendary events, ancestors, and spirits. The carvings often cover the entrances to homes and public spaces. Music is primarily vocal. Aarakocra voices can mimic wind and bird calls. They sing in high, clear tones that echo across valleys. Drums made from stretched hide are used to mark rhythm. Flutes carved from bone produce haunting melodies. Songs serve many purposes. They pass on history, instruct in daily tasks, and entertain during gatherings. They also mark time. In the absence of a sun that can be seen at all times, the length of a song can tell how long a flight should be or when to turn back from a hunt. Storytelling is an art form. Storytellers are revered. They memorize long histories and myths. They use their wings and bodies to act out scenes. They can change their voices to represent different characters. They often tell stories at night when fires burn and shadows dance. The flickering light adds drama. Children gather around and listen wide-eyed. Adults also gather and reminisce about their own youth. In addition to traditional stories, new tales are created to explain events or to teach lessons. Humor is valued, and many stories contain jokes or clever twists. Satire is used to critique leaders gently. A good storyteller can speak truth to power and bring about change by making their audience laugh and think. The Aarakocra have few material possessions. They value portability because they must be able to relocate quickly if necessary. Tools are multi-purpose. A knife may be used for carving wood, cutting food, and preparing hides. Clothing is light and designed not to hinder flight. It is made from woven plant fibers, animal hides, and feathers. Colors are chosen based on clan tradition or personal preference. Jewelry is crafted from bones, shells, and crystals. These pieces often have symbolic meaning. A piece of jewelry may indicate marital status achievements or clan affiliation. Tattoos are also common. They are made with inks derived from plants and minerals. Tattoos may depict personal stories or protective symbols. They are placed where they can be seen by other Aarakocra during flight on wings, shoulders, and faces. The process of tattooing is ceremonial and involves chanting and the burning of incense. Spirituality permeates all aspects of life. The Aarakocra worship the sky goddess and other wind spirits. They believe that every gust and breeze has a personality. They make offerings of food and song. They also honor the earth from which the skylands arose. Rituals are conducted to ensure balance between sky and ground. Priests are trained from a young age. They learn the language of the wind and how to interpret signs. They lead ceremonies for birth, coming of age, marriage, and death. They also serve as healers using herbs and knowledge passed down through generations. They are called upon during difficult times to provide guidance. While priests are respected, they do not hold absolute power. They are part of the council, and their voices are one among many. The The community values consensus and cooperation above all. Justice is administered through discussion and restitution rather than punishment. When a wrong is done, the elders call a meeting. They listen to all sides. They consider the harm done and the intent behind the action. They then propose ways to make amends. This may involve repairing damage, providing food, or performing service. Exile is rare and reserved for those who repeatedly harm others or break sacred vows. Those exiled are given supplies and a chance to survive elsewhere. They are not pursued, but neither are they welcome. This approach to justice emphasizes healing and community over retribution. The Aarakocra are not the only sentient beings in this high realm. They share borders with ground folk and other sky dwellers. Their relationship with ground dwellers is complex. On one hand, they trade and share knowledge. Ground dwellers provide metals, stone textiles, and other resources that are difficult to obtain in the sky. In return, the Aarakocra offer feathers, rare herbs, and guidance through the upper winds. On the other hand, there is mistrust. Some ground kingdoms have tried to conquer the skylands. They have built towers and launched fleets of airships. They have attempted to enslave or coerce the Aarakocra. These attempts have been met with fierce resistance. The Aarakocra know how to use the winds to their advantage. They can harass airships with volleys of arrows and drop rocks onto towers. They can cut ropes and send ships tumbling. They can disrupt supply lines. Ground invaders quickly learn that controlling the sky is not easily achieved. Other sky dwellers include cloud gnomes who build clockwork devices powered by wind. They live on small skylands and ride gliders. They are ingenious and curious. They trade with Aarakocra for feathers and herbs. In exchange, they offer gadgets and tools that make life easier, such as devices to measure wind speed or to predict storms. Cloud gnomes also maintain windmills that grind grain and pump water. Their relationship with the Aarakocra is generally friendly, though some Aarakocra find their endless tinkering tiresome. Cloud giants inhabit the uppermost skylands and seldom interact with smaller folk. They consider themselves guardians of the highest realm. They have palaces built on storm clouds and keep herds of woolly goats with wings. They sometimes descend to trade or to seek aid against great threats, such as sky krakens. When they do, they expect respect and deference. Their patience is long, but their wrath is terrible if they are slighted. There are also races that dwell in the mountains. Dwarves mine the lower slopes and trade metals and gems. They build fortified passes and keep watch for dragons. They respect the Aarakocra and often call on them to scout or deliver messages. Elves inhabit forests on mountainsides. They climb trees and cliffs with ease. They share knowledge of plants and magic. Humans live in villages, in valleys, and on plateaus. They herd animals and grow crops. They look up at the sky with awe and sometimes fear. Some humans worship the Aarakocra as messengers of the gods. Others envy their freedom and attempt to mimic their flight with gliders or balloons. This has led to accidents and tragedies. Aarakocra elders often advise against such attempts. They prefer to share flight knowledge slowly and with guidance. Relations with subterranean races are limited. The underfolk seldom venture into the sky. They trade occasionally when precious gems or metals are needed. They also sometimes seek Aarakocra help in scouting high mountain passes. In return, they offer stones infused with magic that can counteract the effects of storms. The Aarakocra accept these gifts with caution. They know that beneath the surface are realms as vast and dangerous as those above. As with any region, there are conflicts. Aarakocra and harpies have a long history of enmity. Harpies swoop into sky cities to steal eggs or to lure fledglings. They sing songs that mimic Aarakocra calls. Some Aarakocra have tried to broker peace, but the harpies are chaotic and unreliable. There are also tensions with certain clans of mountain orcs. These orcs climb the peaks and raid Skyland farms. They believe that anything above the ground belongs to them. Skirmishes are common. Despite these conflicts, there are also alliances. Some orcs respect the skill of Aarakocra warriors and have sworn to protect the lower slopes in exchange for aid from above. Likewise, some harpies have been accepted into sky cities after forsaking their marauding ways. These individuals serve as scouts and contribute their knowledge of hidden caves and cliffside nests. The sky realm is vast and largely uncharted. Explorers are always seeking new skylands and windroads. These explorers are often younger Aarakocra who feel the call of adventure. They equip themselves with maps, food, and talismans. They fly into unknown territories, recording their observations on thin sheets of bark or animal hide. They note the positions of floating islands, the patterns of wind, and the presence of resources. They also map the territories of predators and spirits. These maps are treasured. They are stored in communal halls and shared among clans. Explorers who discover new routes are celebrated. Songs are composed in their honor. They earn names like Cloud Seeker or Storm Rider. Discovery is not without risk. Many explorers do not return. They may be caught in storms, attacked by monsters, or lost in the endless sky. Their absence is mourned, but their bravery is celebrated. When a scout does return, they are often changed. They may carry tales of strange places. Some speak of skylands where gravity is reversed and everything falls upward. Others tell of islands inhabited by ghostly birds that speak in riddles. There are stories of entire cities carved from ice that floats without melting, and of ruins that suggest that Aarakocra were not the first to inhabit the skylands. Ancient structures made of unknown metals and carved with unfamiliar symbols hint at civilizations long forgotten. Priests and scholars study these ruins and debate their origins. Some believe they are remnants of the giants. Others think they came from visitors from another plane. Whatever their origin, they inspire awe. Beyond the physical realm, exploration also extends into magic. Aarakocra wizards and druids experiment with spells that manipulate wind and weather. They seek to create stable updrafts that can support heavier loads or to calm storms before they become dangerous. Some have attempted to harness lightning to power machines or to use as a weapon. These experiments are carefully controlled. Magic is respected and feared. The misuse of magic in the sky can have devastating consequences. A sudden shift in wind can cause a platform to tilt. A misfired spell can attract unwanted attention from storm spirits. Therefore, magical research is overseen by councils of elders and guided by priests. Those who show talent are trained and taught the importance of discipline. One of the most significant recent discoveries is that of a portal. High above the highest skyland, an explorer named Feather Dance found a shimmering curtain of light. When she touched it, she felt a pull, and suddenly she was standing in a place where the sky was darker and stars were closer. She realized she had entered another plane. She explored carefully and saw strange shapes moving in the distance. She did not go far before returning. She told her people what she had found. Since then, several expeditions have attempted to study the portal. They have found that it opens irregularly and that it may lead to multiple places. Some think it is a gate to the elemental plane of air. Others think it may lead to other worlds entirely. There is excitement and fear. The potential for trade and knowledge is vast. The risk is equally great. What if something comes through that the Aarakocra cannot handle? What if the portal disrupts the balance of the sky? Discussions continue, and the portal remains under observation. Below the skylands and mountains lies the lower sky, a region where air meets earth. Here the wind is slower and the clouds are thin. The lower sky is where the sky cities connect with ground dwellers. It is where trade occurs and where supplies are gathered. It is also where many hidden dangers lurk. The lower sky includes deep canyons carved by rivers long evaporated. It includes cliffs with ancient caves. It includes forests of towering trees whose tops reach into the mid-sky. Aarakocra sometimes build secondary homes in these tall trees. They use them as waypoints or as retreats. The lower sky is also home to creatures that cannot survive in the thinner air above. Bears with wings, bats the size of horses, and mountain lions that can leap extraordinary distances all live here. In the lower sky there are also ruins. These ruins suggest that the Skylanders were once connected to the ground in ways other than by bridges. There are remnants of pillars that once held up, floating islands or chains that anchored them. There are broken machines that may have controlled the movement of Skylands. There are tunnels that lead deep into the mountains and emerge in unexpected places. Some Aarakocra believe these ruins were created by the first sky dwellers or by a race that predates them. They explore them in hopes of finding lost knowledge. Others fear that disturbing these places will anger spirits. They avoid them and warn others to leave them be. The ruins are often overgrown with moss and hidden by vegetation. They are easy to miss unless one knows what to look for. Maps of these ruins are guarded closely. Thieves and treasure hunters have attempted to loot them. Some have succeeded. Others haven't returned. In addition to ruins, there are creatures in the lower sky that venture up from the ground. Dragons sometimes climb the mountains. They are drawn by the promise of treasure or by the challenge of hunting in the sky. Young dragons may be driven away by their elders and forced to seek territory elsewhere. They find the Skylands appealing. They may attempt to make nests on them or to raid sky cities. The Aarakocra view these dragons with caution. They respect their power, but will defend their homes. Sometimes an alliance is formed. If a dragon agrees to protect a city from other threats, the Aarakocra may share food and shelter. These alliances are not always stable. Dragons are proud and may demand more than the Aarakocra can give. Negotiations are delicate and are handled by elders and priests. The lower sky also contains resources. There are mines where metals and crystals can be extracted. Aarakocra are not natural miners, but they have learned from dwarves and humans. They send teams down into the mines. These teams work in shifts. They carve out ore and bring it up using baskets attached to ropes. Mining is dangerous. Cave-ins can occur. Toxic gases may accumulate. Creatures living below may attack. Still, the reward is worth it. Metal is used to reinforce structures and to craft tools and weapons. Crystals can store magic and provide light. These crystals are highly valued by mages and priests. They are used in rituals and as currency in trade with other races. The border between sky and ground is also a place of cultural exchange. Here, Aarakocra learn ground languages, and ground folk learn Aarakocra songs. Marriages between Aarakocra and ground dwellers are rare but not unheard of. Children of such unions often live in the lower sky. They may inherit traits from both parents. These individuals can serve as bridges between cultures. They understand both perspectives and can mediate disputes. They also face challenges. They may feel torn between two worlds. They must learn to navigate both the air and the ground. Support from family and community is essential. The Aarakocra value diversity and recognize the strength that comes from blending ideas and traditions. The world of the Aarakocra Sky Cities is a realm of wonder and danger. It is a place where the air is both home and highway, where mountains rise like the bones of giants and skylands drift like slow ships. It is a world rich in beauty, clouds painted by sunset and sunrise, stars so close one feels one can reach out and touch them. It is also a world of constant vigilance. Storms can appear without warning. Predators lurk behind every cloud. Ambition and greed can tear communities apart. Yet amidst these challenges, the Aarakocra thrive. They have learned to read the wind and to listen to the sky. They have built homes that move with the air. They have cultivated crops that grow in thin soil. They have forged alliances with other races. They have developed a culture that values balance, community, and respect. Their myths and stories remind them of their origins and their responsibilities. They know that the sky is a gift and a test. They must protect it and use it wisely. In doing so, they find freedom, they find joy, they find a home in the endless sky. For many ground dwellers, the idea of machines in the sky seems absurd, yet the Aarakocra have developed tools and devices that harness the power of wind and light without sacrificing their reverence for nature. Windcraft is the art of constructing vehicles and tools that ride the currents. The simplest form of windcraft is the glider. A glider consists of a frame of light wood or bone covered with stretched hide. It is designed to catch the wind and support a small load. Aarakocra use gliders to transport heavy goods or passengers who cannot fly. They attach rope harnesses to the glider and guide it through the air by shifting their weight and pulling on control lines. Skilled pilots can make a glider dance on the breeze. They can catch a thermal and ascend without flapping. They can dive through narrow canyons and land on platforms with precision. Gliders come in many shapes. Some are broad-winged and slow, perfect for carrying fragile cargo. Others are sleek and fast, used for racing or for delivering urgent messages. In some cities, glider races are held during festivals. Pilots navigate courses marked by floating rings. Spectators cheer and throw flowers. More complex are wind wagons. These are platforms mounted on large kite-like structures. They are used to move entire families or large quantities of goods. Wind wagons have masts with adjustable sails. Pilots position the sails to catch crosswinds. They use anchors made of stone to stabilize the wagon during loading and unloading. Some wind wagons have enclosed cabins to protect passengers from cold or rain. Others are open to the air. The development of wind wagons has allowed greater mobility and has expanded trade. A caravan of wind wagons moving across the sky is a majestic sight. The sails billow like giant bird wings. The banners of different clans flutter. Bells ring to warn others of their approach. These caravans are accompanied by scouts who fly ahead and behind to watch for danger. They also carry healers and priests. Travel is unpredictable and injuries are common. Having healers on hand can save lives. In addition to vehicles, the Aarakocra have devised devices to harness wind for energy. Windmills are common on skylands with reliable breezes. They have large blades made of wood and fabric. As the wind turns, the blades, a shaft rotates. This rotation can be used to grind grain, pump water, or turn simple machines. Windmills are built on tall towers to capture stronger winds. Their blades can be angled to adjust for changes in wind direction. Children learn to climb windmill towers and help with maintenance. Windmills are often decorated with carvings of birds and swirling patterns to honor the wind spirits. They are also painted with colors that correspond to the clan that built them. Seeing a windmill on a distant skyland helps travelers identify who lives there. Light is another resource that Aarakocra harness. Sunstones are crystals that absorb sunlight during the day and glow at night. These stones are embedded in paths and placed in homes. They provide illumination without flame, which is crucial in an environment where fire can attract predators or harm structures. Harvesting sunstones requires venturing to exposed peaks where they can be found in clusters. The stones are collected by miners and polished by artisans. They are then charged in full sunlight. A charged sunstone can glow for several nights. They are used in lamps hung from the ceilings of homes and in lanterns that accompany travelers. Some priests use larger sunstones in rituals. They place them in circles and dance around them while chanting. The light is believed to amplify their prayers and send them higher into the heavens. Magic is interwoven with technology. Aarakocra mages create spells that bind air to structures. They can reinforce ropes with strands of air. They can create small whirlwinds that turn gears. They can conjure updrafts to lift heavy objects. These spells are simple and subtle. They do not alter the nature of the sky, but instead work with it. More powerful spells are used sparingly. A druid may call upon the spirits to calm a raging storm. A shaman may open a small pocket of space to store goods. A wizard may create an illusion of a skyland to confuse predators. The use of magic is regulated by custom. Those who abuse it are reprimanded. Those who use it wisely are honored. Apprentices study for years before they are allowed to cast spells unsupervised. They learn to respect the delicate balance of the sky and to consider the consequences of every spell. Throughout history, the Sky Cities have faced events that shaped their culture and destiny. These events are remembered in song and stone. One of the most significant events was the Great Storm. It occurred many generations ago. For days, the sky darkened and the wind howled. Rain fell in sheets and lightning struck repeatedly. The storm did not move as storms usually do. It hovered over the mountains and skylands. The Aarakocra were trapped. Bridges snapped. Homes were torn apart. Many fled to the safety of the hollow mountains. There they huddled and waited. Priests prayed and elders sang calming songs. When the storm finally passed, the damage was extensive. Entire sections of cities were gone. Crops were destroyed. Waterfalls had changed course. There was despair. But the people did not give up. They rebuilt. They strengthened their structures. They learned to read subtle signs of unusual storms. They developed new rituals to honor the storm spirits and to plead for mercy. The Great Storm is remembered each year with a day of reflection. Bells are rung. Nets are tightened. Stories of loss and survival are told. This event taught the Aarakocra the importance of resilience and unity. Another turning point was the War of Three Winds. In this conflict, three powerful clans, each with large skylands, entered into a rivalry. The dispute began over rights to a particularly fertile island. Each clan claimed it. Arguments escalated. Minor skirmishes occurred. Other cities tried to mediate, but tempers flared. Eventually, war was declared. The war was unlike anything the sky had seen. Warriors battled in the air above the contested island. Nets were cast. Spears flew. Songs of defiance echoed. The island itself shook and began to break apart. Elders from neutral cities intervened. They risked their lives flying between combatants. They shouted for peace. They reminded the clans of their shared heritage. Slowly the fighting stopped. A council was convened. It was decided that no clan would claim the island. Instead, it would be shared by all. The island was named the Common Land. It became a place of trade and counsel. The war ended, but its effects lingered. New laws were established to prevent such conflicts. Disputes would be resolved through councils and mediation rather than war. The War of Three Winds is taught to children as a warning against unchecked ambition. History also records times of contact with other realms. One such instance occurred when a rift opened in the sky. This rift was not like the portal discovered by Featherdance. It was a tear accompanied by strange sounds and lights. Creatures made of mist and shadow emerged. They were not spirits, but something else entirely. They had long arms and no faces. They moved like liquid. They seized Aarakocra and attempted to drag them through the rift. Panic ensued. Priests attempted to close the tear using songs and spells. Warriors fought the creatures. The rift expanded. It threatened to swallow entire skylands. Then a group of ground dwellers appeared. They were wizards and clerics. They had been tracking the rift from below. Together with the Aarakocra, they wove a powerful spell. They sealed the rift and banished the creatures. The cooperation between sky and ground was unprecedented. It led to new alliances and a deeper understanding of magic. It also served as a reminder that the world is connected. Events in the sky can affect the ground and vice versa. These stories are more than entertainment. They are lessons. They teach Aarakocra about resilience, cooperation, humility, and courage. They remind them of their history and of the sacrifices made by their ancestors. They inspire the young to aspire to greatness, and the old to guide with wisdom. They also serve as cautionary tales about pride, greed, and neglect. By remembering their history, the Aarakocra hope to avoid repeating mistakes and to build a future where their sky cities continue to flourish.